63 things that you didn't realize were autistic traits. How many of them apply to you? Hi everyone, Paul Mikulev here from Autism from the Inside. I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest content. So it's pretty hard to pin down exactly what autism is, but if you get a group of autistic people in a room together, then suddenly there are certain patterns that tend to emerge. So you ask the room a question that sounds kind of innocuous, something like, who likes socks? And suddenly you'll get a slew of very enthusiastic answers in either the affirmative or the negative to otherwise fairly basic questions. So I've compiled a possibly over-the-top list of 63 things you didn't realize were autistic traits. Let's get stuck into it and we'll see how many apply to you. So in no particular order, always wearing bright colors, hating phone calls, not realizing you're hungry or thirsty, not replying to a text message, but thinking about it for a week until eventually deciding that it's kind of probably too late to reply anyway. Hating wearing socks or just seams in clothing in general. Having an atypical sense of humor. Telling the truth even when you probably shouldn't. Feeling out of sync with everyone else in your group. Having an aversion to or an obsession with popular culture. Overplanning everything. Not having a strong sense of gender, feeling tired all the time for no good reason, not liking being told what to do. Did you teach yourself to read before your first day of school? Finding comfort in repetition and routine. Struggling with crowds. Seeing people as people and kind of forgetting about social class and expectations and all that kind of stuff. Having super sensitive hearing. Having a high pain tolerance. Over-apologizing and assuming everything must be your fault. Not caring what people think, being really good at something that is completely useless, being deadpan sarcastic all the time, preferring face-to-face communication to avoid misunderstanding, struggling to find an appropriate gap in group conversation, constant background anxiety, being overly empathic, relating to animals better than you relate to humans, avoiding trying new things, eating the same food every day, finding inappropriate things funny, not liking to be touched, a tendency to notice small details, hating fluorescent lights and downlights, always wanting to understand why, enjoying repetition, enjoying repetition, enjoying repetition. Did I mention having a terrible sense of humor? Yeah, okay. Thinking in pictures, having a flat affect, also known as resting bitch face. Preferring to pace up and down instead of sitting still, liking to imitate other people, having a favorite thing that goes with you everywhere, getting excited and interrupting people, going over social interactions again and again in your head even after they've happened, seeing patterns in everything, having a very, very good memory for some things and a terrible memory for other things, preferring non-verbal forms of communication, hating to brush your teeth, having a monotone voice, difficulty identifying your emotions because they feel like they're all jumbled together, getting overwhelmed by too many tasks at once, watching the same movie or TV series over and over again, feeling awkward in groups, loving to think outside the box, having brilliant ideas that no one else seems to be able to understand, struggling to read between the lines in complex social situations, preferring written communication because you can spend hours and hours perfecting and saying exactly what you want to say in an attempt to try and avoid miscommunication. Two-speed productivity, either super fast, super efficient, or nothing at all. Compartmentalizing experiences from different parts of your life. Feeling comfortable being alone. Being happy with very few material comforts. Always finishing what you start even when you should probably stop. Scripting conversations in advance, or spending hours thinking about what you could have said even after the moment has passed. And finally, being the kind of person who people think, how could someone so clever be so stupid? Anyway, I could go on, but you get the idea. Taken on their own, any one of these traits would not be that uncommon in the general population, but when you put them all together, there's a certain magical quality that emerges. And the only way to really experience it is to hang around groups of autistic people. You may have found that you were the exact opposite of some of the traits that I mentioned, which is in itself also a trait of autism, because we tend to be constantly either too much or not enough in any given area. For example, for children, not talking by the time you go to school is a sign of potentially autism, and similarly, talking in full sentences at the age of 2 is a sign of, well, possibly autism. Anything outside of what is considered normal is a sign of atypical development. So anyway, after listening to this list, if you're thinking, ooh, maybe this might be me, maybe I'm autistic myself, and you'd like to explore that a bit further, I recommend coming along to one of our social events to see what a group of autistic people look like, to see if you feel like you fit in and try and get a sense of that undescribable autistic quality for yourself. Our online social group has regular Zoom catch-ups, multiple every week, and there are also fortnightly in-person events in Melbourne that we host on meetup.com. If you're not in Melbourne and you'd like to start your own autistic meetup in your city, then please get in touch. It's a lot easier than you might think, and I'd be happy to promote your group on the Autism from the Inside Facebook page so that others in your city can get to hear about it as well. Well, that's it. I might leave it there. Let me know what you think of this video and which traits resonated most strongly for you. So thanks so much again for watching. I'll make sure to put all the links to the social activities I've mentioned in the video description, and I will see you again next week. Bye.